Promised Neverland has quickly become one of my favorite mangas in recent time, and the anime is also doing quite well. In comparison to the manga, we see a lot less of the characters' internal thoughts as they work to outsmart each other. However, the anime tries to compensate for this with its strong direction, utilizing clever camera work, lighting, sound effects, and bouncy character animation, going for a show over tell and using some of the advantages that come with the animated medium to convey tension. One of the things I've noticed lately is the significant focus on clocks. This symbol is found in both versions, simply as Mother Isabella's way of keeping watch on the kids through tracking devices, but it's taken a step further in the anime, using it to convey time, or lack of it. Time is a limited resource. Lack of time is pressure, urgency, and overwhelming. There's only so much time to plan an escape, to act on those plans, to information gather about an outside world they know little about with limited resources. Little time until the next child is shipped out. There is no time for mistakes. Even Isabella has to stay alert. Focus on staying multiple steps ahead of her kids so she can stop any escape plans. Sister Crone also has limited time, trying to gather evidence on the kids and steal the mother position before they escape or Isabella gets rid of her. And because of this, there is a sense of urgency hanging over the characters' heads each episode. We are constantly reminded of this lack of time, even by the episode titles, each one being a date that slowly crawls towards the next shipment, a countdown, until Norman, Ray, and Emma reach their peak harvest date. But the characters can't let this pressure mess with their heads, or it could lead to making a mistake big enough to end the game entirely. Not only is the idea of time utilized well, but the sight and sound of a clock is used to visualize tension. Let's take a look at episode 1. When the kids begin their innocent game of tag, we can hear the steady ticks from Ray's pocket watch, and we transition to this upbeat music. If you listen carefully, the background instrumentals continue to carry this beat that the pocket watch first had. Essentially, we end up getting used to the sound. It's normal. Trusted. The steady beat of the clock appears again, slightly more ominously, when Emma finds Connie's little bunny left behind. She and Norman only have so much time to rush over to the gate and give it to her before she leaves them. When they arrive at the gate, the sound is subverted. Our ears are instead greeted with the uneven drips of water playing in the background. This sound is different. We've become so used to the steady beats in the background, just as the kids have become used to their rigid but safe lifestyle. The drip is haphazard, only adding an extra layer of unease that is felt in this scene. The scene leading up to the big reveal about their home. There are also some neat parallels between episodes involving the clock. At the beginning of episode 1, Emma wakes up peacefully to the ticking of the clock, but in episode 2, she wakes up in the middle of the night from a nightmare after having learned the truth. Instead of her looking straight at the steady camera when she wakes, the camera is at an odd angle, swinging like the pendulum on a grandfather clock, to replicate the unease and anxiety Emma now feels in her own home. Visually, the camera work can be so interesting in this show. While I believe a lot of manga readers, including myself, were hoping for more traditionally drawn 2D backgrounds with a lot of detail like in the manga, which pairs well with the dark fantasy vibe of the series, I understand why they chose to go mostly with 3D backgrounds for the anime. It gives them freedom to move the camera at interesting angles, while still allowing the characters to be animated as they talk, instead of just standing still and using lip flaps. Using these techniques with 2D backgrounds might be a bit too time-consuming and costly for a TV series to be able to pull off. Having the camera move and swing at these weird angles the audience isn't used to seeing, or at least I'm not used to seeing in animation, feels like it's another aspect to make the viewer feel slightly uneasy or on guard, and it visually makes for some really cool and well-composed scenes. I, for example, love when the camera utilizes the pendulum swing, like when the trio is speaking to each other and it swings back and forth from each character, or the stare down between the two kids after Norman confronts Ray. For a show that has a good majority of the time spent on characters just talking, working through their plans, and only making carefully calculated moves, and for it to keep audiences on the edge of their seats wondering what will happen next is surely an accomplishment. As the story continues to unfold, the ticking of the clock plays multiple times in the background. The sound it makes is also like a heartbeat. Normally, a heartbeat is used to symbolize the anxiety and nervousness one feels in a situation that appears to be scary. The audience is just on guard as the characters are when the sound appears. The clock continues to tick away, time, unconcerned, and uncaring about the events occurring. And this sound is used constantly between scenes or when the characters are talking. It's to keep us, the audience, on edge, build tension. On the other hand, a heartbeat has also been used to symbolize something else. It has been used to convey that these characters are still alive right now, and even though the situation is dire, they at least still have a chance to live. The imagery continues to be strong in this show as well. The pocket watch in the background, which was once for just timing their fun games of tag, is now used to test their enemy and see who can escape and how long their group could theoretically last in a real chase. The creative swings of the camera and looming images of time all are meant to keep viewers engaged and on edge. The symbols of the clock and lack of time, the uneasy visuals, and the sound effects all seem to do an excellent job at conveying tension, keeping the viewers at the edge of their seats each episode. Despite missing the internal monologues and character thoughts from the manga, as they really played up this game of who can outwit who and showed off just how intelligent all these characters really are, I understand there were only so many episodes they had to cover this arc, and I think both mediums managed to get the audience attached to the kids while both keeping people on edge as to what could possibly happen next. Cloverworks seems like they're really trying to take advantage of this different medium, and I'm really excited to see the rest of the techniques that they apply as they finish adapting this season of the series. Thank you all so much for watching. I would love to hear any thoughts you guys have on the Promised Neverland manga, anime, adaptation, that whole jazz in the comments section. Feel free to like and subscribe if you did happen to enjoy the video, and I can't wait to hopefully see you guys in the next one. Take care.